Good evening, and welcome to another riveting episode of Killer Kitchen. Speaking of rivets, we drove a few out here today, and we've decided to make you some homemade tacos and the thing from the grave. So stick around right here on the Killer Kitchen, where we've always got something cooking.
Welcome, dear.
Tales of horror that will give you the creeps.
This is going to be extremely painful, Mr. Verrill.
The most fun you'll ever have being scared. Creep Show, rated R.
Now playing at a theater near you.
Friday the 13th, Part 3 in Super 3D. The all-new process that puts you in the picture. Whether you want to be there or not. It will scare you. Count on it. Friday the 13th, Part 3 in Super 3D. Rated R.
Now playing in Sacramento. Check newspapers for theaters and showtime.
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
1.
He's close. Ooh.
2.
He's real, isn't he? He's real.
3. Ready or not, Freddy's back. A Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 3. Dream Warriors, rated R.
Starts Friday at a theater near you.
We now return to Killer Kitchen. Tonight's episode is something a little bit different. Kind of a double feature, if you will. Our first story tonight is from Stephen King's Night Shift collection. Originally released in 1978, the story is The Boogeyman. Little bit of backstory here. The Boogeyman was the first audiobook I had ever heard. My mom and I were at some bookstore at the mall, and I was looking around, and at the time I needed glasses and couldn't get them in for another 3 weeks. I liked reading once upon a time. So while I was waiting for my glasses, figured I was going to go get an audiobook, something at least. And I love Stephen King. I've been reading Stephen King since I was old enough to learn how to spell the word the. You know? Well, I should correct myself. I love Stephen King's work. Stephen King is a person. Well, he was a school teacher. And it definitely shows if you read his Twitter account. And by the way, I loved seeing Elon Musk put him in his place. You know, talk about charity and this and that and giving things away. I'd just like to know myself, Steve. How much did you give to Ukraine? Because Elon Musk gave him 100 mil. But I regress. I love Stephen King's work. Some of his stories have been the best pieces of work I've ever read. Rose Matter. We got a new table here, and I'm kind of learning how to use it. Rose Matter, in fact, was a great story, too. So, I'm not above showing it here, and I'm not above giving Stephen King the credit that he deserves. He's one of the best writers of the modern age. In fact, he's probably the last good writer that we're going to get. Now, if he could just keep his politics and his opinions to himself and quit getting mad about a whole $8 over a blue check mark. You know what? I just deleted my Twitter account. I only went on Twitter because everybody said it's free speech. I said what I had to say. I told a few politicians what I thought, and then decided it ain't worth it. I'm wasting my time and my energy listening to everybody else's opinion and worried about getting somebody's opinion instead of spending not enough time right here in the kitchen. So that was one ad gone. However, a new one came along. Everybody's bitching about TikTok. Well, I swore I'd never get a TikTok. Fuck it, I opened one. You guys really want my opinions on politics? You really want my opinions on life? You want to find out exactly what the fuck? How I feel about shit? My TikTok account, the Angry 80s Guy, is the best I can tell you. As far as the kitchen goes, right there, that little spiel about Stephen King is finally, that's done for me. That's where I stand. Yes, I'm conservative. But you know, I'm not exactly the conservative type, because I smoke more pot than most fucking liberals would ever fucking think of. I drink more beer than most Republicans do on a day off. And quite frankly, I don't give a shit about either side. Get your fucking act together, fix the fucking country, and give us a chance to live like we did in 1955 instead of putting us back in the Depression of 1933. Now, let's have some fun. Tonight, as I said, is going to be a double feature. So after we watch The Boogeyman, we are going to be watching The Thing from the Grave, Tales from the Crypt. Another shorter story and one of my favorite Tales from the Crypt episodes, where the Boogeyman delves into Lester Billings going to a psychiatrist to talk about how his children died or were murdered. The Thing from the Grave delves into an abusive piece of shit who murders her girlfriend and his girlfriend and her lover. Well, there's a twist on that too. So, without further ado, I think we should get started. Oh, if you're wondering what the fuck I'm stirring, I'll give you guys a little bit of a look here. We're making some chocolate pudding. Now, I told you we're going to end tonight's episode with The Thing from the Grave. So, we are making a graveyard dish. You'll understand these green cups at that point. We are also going to be making some quickie tacos. Well, not exactly quickie. That's pretty well good. I started by taking a thing of the Jell-O instant pudding. I took one box and I mixed 2 cups of milk. I whisked it really good first for about 5 minutes, and then I stirred it with a spoon for another 5 minutes. Well, actually, however long I've been sitting here talking to you guys. Now I'm going to take this, we're going to set this into the refrigerator. So, while we let that set, I say we get to the show and find out just what the hell is going on in Lester Billings' world.
Should have gone right into his office, taken a whole dozen of those cola bottles and taken a whole dozen and just... Fuck you. Oh, Jesus.
child abuse.
But is anyone hurt? You don't understand. We live right next door, and I wanted to come over and see her. She's a friend of mine. We've been friends for a long time, and I'd like to find out if anything...
Everything is going to be just fine. Okay, now why don't you
Excuse
just
me.
go home?
But you don't...
Watch your back.
Watch your back. Upstairs to the right.
Oh, could you please? I want to talk to her. I have to talk to her. She's a
Go
friend
home
of
and go
mine.
to bed, okay?
You don't understand.
Get it.
Hey, you better hold up with that until Gerlin has seen the body.
6 Charlie 9, Sergeant Garland will be arriving shortly. Please stand by.
10-4.
Will return to Killer Kitchen only on the Angry 80s Guy YouTube channel.
When the Crypt Keeper cooks up a brand new season, you'll be seeing stars.
If you've got a hankering for something tasty, we've got a treat that'll keep you on pins and needles. Bon appetit.
Not my recipe.
Try a little sugar and spice and everything nice. Keep it over a smoldering flame, because that's what Tales from the Crypt are made of. It's a gourmet experience, so if you're not a screaming meanie and you can take the heat, join me for a new season of fresh Tales from the Crypt.
Premieres Saturday night at 10:30.
What happened was true. The most bizarre and brutal series of crimes in America. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Even if one of them survives, what will be left? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. After you stop screaming, you'll start talking about it. Rated R.
We now return to Killer Kitchen. For meat grinders, you know what I mean? Like I said, we drove some rivets today. So, we got some ground steak here. We're just gonna pull it apart, gently put it in here. Now, interesting fact, this story is based on a magazine, or the story itself was published, sorry, I'm sitting here concentrating on the meat. It was published in a magazine called Cavalier in 1973, back in March. And what's cool is I used to have that magazine. Not entirely sure what happened to it, but I do have it. Or I had it. It later, in 1978, was featured in one of Stephen King's short stories. Short story collections called Night Shift. And then here, what we're watching now, it was adapted for screen by Jeff Shiro and Michael Earl Reed as Lester Billings. Now, what's funny is
You want some more? Huh? You want a little? Do you? You want some more? Huh? Huh?
I don't think it's ever gotten the credit it deserves, simply because of the low budget quality, and it's a short story too. I think the story itself, the audio book, was only like maybe a movie length, if that, to read it. So, and think about it, when you're reading a book or whatever, that's way different from reading a script. So now in a script, just, yeah, here it is, blah, blah, blah. in the book, you're getting descriptions of the room, you're getting descriptions of everything all at once. And then what you get when you're reading the script, you're getting just people reading. So you're not reading what the actors are reading for the script. With a book, you're getting everything laid out. So if it takes 120 minutes to read the story, then you're getting maybe 35 minutes tops of screen. And then they always change this or that. They do this or that for it. And high life, baby. But something like that. So they always alter that. Anyway, this is Burt Linder is Dr. Harper, and Lester Billings played by Michael Earl Reid. Let's get back to the show while I clean up my mess and season this.
So afraid. So afraid to have her own room. I told you not to move her. After what happened to Denny.
I think Mr. Billings, we should have a little talk. As I understand it, Mr. Billings, you discovered the child's body. Well, is that right?
Yes.
How about your wife? Where was she at the time?
My wife was sleeping.
And where, Mr. Billings, was the body when you found it? Billings, where was the body?
In the bed.
In the bed. And what time was this?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. It's now 2:15. Are you telling me it took her an hour before you called the police? Answer me, Billings. Don't you find it rather strange that the same thing happened to you less than 3 months ago? Another crib death, maybe. Answer me, Billings!
I'm Dr. Harper. Your case is an extremely interesting one.
Look, Dr. Harper, there's no sense beating around the bush, okay? I was responsible for the deaths of my children.
You mean you actually killed them?
No. I didn't, but I was responsible.
You see, they were murdered.
I see. Is there something wrong, Mr. Billings?
That door.
What? It's the closet. Shall I open?
No!
Tell me, Mr. Billings, exactly how were the children murdered?
Look, don't try to jerk it out of me. I'll tell you, okay? And I'm not one of your freaks who thinks he's Napoleon or something. I know you won't believe me. It doesn't matter. I just came here to get this off my chest, okay? Okay?
Who killed the children?
Boogeyman. Boogeyman killed him. Just came out of the closet and killed him. You think I'm crazy, all right. It's written all over you. But I don't care. Just to tell will be enough.
I'm listening.
It all started when Denny was almost 5. Cheryl was about 3 and, no, Cheryl was about 4 and Andy was 3. Rita, Mia, that's my wife.
Will return to Killer Kitchen only on the Angry 80s Guy YouTube channel.
Bellow of blood.
Lucy, I'm home.
Where pleasure may be for sale,
We've been waiting for you.
but death is on the house. Dennis Miller.
Cha-ching.
Tales from the Crypt presents Bordello of Blood.
Let's party.
Rated R. Starts Friday, August 16th at theaters everywhere.
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
1.
He's close.
2.
He's real, isn't he? Right now. He's real.
3. Ready or not, Freddy's back. A Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 3. Dream Warriors, rated R.
Starts Friday at a theater near you.
Friday the 13th, Part 3 in Super 3D. The all-new process that puts you in the picture. Whether you want to be there or not. It will scare you. Count on it. Friday the 13th, Part 3 in Super 3D. Rated R.
Now playing in Sacramento. Check newspapers for theaters and showtime.
We now return to Killer Kitchen. Welcome back. You know, I really do hate the way his wife is like blaming him. Like, I knew he shouldn't have had her own room. You know, even if your kids didn't die, being married to that woman would drive you to a fucking psychiatrist. But I regress. We've got our meat seasoned. It's brown. We're going to take and we're going to add an entire can of diced tomatoes right inside, just like that. An entire can of olives, diced black olives. Throw them in there just like that. And then we're going to take about a half a can of refried beans. Just like that. And I'm going to be mixing all this together and cooking it together. So I guess we're not making tacos. We're making burritos. So stick around. And after the burritos, I'm gonna finish showing you how to make the thing from the grave. Let's get back to the damn movie.
I'm listening.
It all started when Denny was almost 5. Cheryl was about 3 and, no, Cheryl was about 4 and Andy was 3. Rita and Mia. That's my wife. We were sleeping.
Now I better get some warm milk.
Don't. Kid has to learn not to keep waking us up every time he's a bit thirsty. I'll go in and stir.
Lester?
Daddy! Daddy!
Denny, what is the matter with you? Denny!
Boogeyman.
Who taught you that? Mommy? She teach you that? There's no such thing as the boogeyman. Now, come on. You just dream. Come on, lay down and go to sleep. Listen, you're gonna wake up. Will you just stop it? You're gonna wake up Andy and Cheryl. Will you just lay down?
Daddy!
I finally got him to calm down. And then went in and asked Rita why she wanted to teach the kid a word like boogeyman. Said she never taught him to say that.
Continue.
So anyway, later that night, Andy started crying. He did every night, right on schedule. Luckily, Cheryl was staying over with Rita's mom. That's her only granddaughter. Anyway, I'm sure if she was here, she would have been whining too. Kids, sometimes, you know, you could just... Anyway, like I was saying, Andy started crying. Rita got up. I got up and I went to the bathroom.
Would you go check in on Denny?
I need my sleep.
Here then. Lester. Here, tuck Andy in. Come on.
Did you know it was the boogeyman then?
No, not then. But I did notice one thing. It didn't mean much to me then, but my mind, it stored it away, see?
What was that?
The closet door was open. Not much, just a crack. See, I knew I left it shut. See, there were dry cleaning bags in there. You know, a little kid messes around with those and...
Of course. Did you notice anything else?
Not then. See, things didn't become clear until much later. After we buried Denny, I moved Cheryl into his old room. Rita fought a tooth and nail, but I had the last word. I mean, Rita still loved me. I mean, she knew her place. She knew her station in life. I mean, I'm the king of the castle, right? I mean, I loved having the kid in with us. But you can't get overprotective. You make a kid a cripple that way. I mean, I know. My mother, every time she used to take me to the beach, she'd say, don't go out too far. You've only eaten an hour ago. Even look out for sharks, for Christ's sake. To this day, I cannot even go to the beach without I feel like I want to puke my guts out. So anyway, a few months passed. And then one night I'm putting Cheryl to bed, and she starts to scream and cry, "Boogeyman, Daddy, Boogeyman." Well, that threw a jump into me. It was just like Denny. I wanted to move her back to our room.
But you didn't.
Well, I wasn't sure of anything. I mean, they called Denny's death a crib death. I mean, it could have been, I began to think. Maybe I was dreaming. We were so happy. What could happen?
This is Sergeant Gurley.
Hello, John. How are you?
I received a report this morning on the Billings case.
Oh?
Possibly called it a crib death. What about the contusion on the back of the kid's neck?
Look, we're merely calling it a crib death for lack of a better explanation. Any lawyer would tell you that those contusions can be caused by any number of things. In fact, in your own report, you have Mr. and Mrs. Billings claiming...
I have Mr. Billings claiming nothing.
Do you know why? Take it easy, John.
She's locked up in some institution. Do you think she doesn't know that her husband's a murderer?
Listen, John, my report is by no means conclusive.
It simply means that you won't be able to get anywhere with the case based on the medical evidence alone. You need more.
And now here's a tune that's been topping the charts for, well, about the last 2.5 weeks now. Little Eddie Smaldone and his big hit, Fire Breathing Devil.
Will return to Killer Kitchen only on the Angry 80s Guy YouTube channel.
Tales of horror that will give you the creeps.
This is going to be extremely painful, Mr. Verrill.
The most fun you'll ever have being scared. Creep Show. Rated R.
Now playing at a theater near you.
What happened was true. The most bizarre and brutal series of crimes in America. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Even if one of them survives, what will be left? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. After you stop screaming, you'll start talking about it. Rated R.
Was a time I was hoping
Maybe if you think of a thing long enough and you believe in it, maybe it becomes real. Maybe all the things we were afraid of as kids, you know, the monsters like Frankenstein, huh? Wolfman, Mummy. Maybe they were real. Real enough to kill the kids that were supposed to drown in lakes or falling into gravel pits. Maybe.
Are you backing away from something, Mr. Billings?
I had a neighbor who stayed with Andy during the day. We kept house nights. I had Andy sleep in my room. I didn't want to move him. I was afraid to.
But you did move him, didn't you?
Yes, I moved him. Jesus Christ, you weren't fucking there. A few nights ago, I started getting pulled. The closet doors came open. The noises, the sounds, the ship. I knew it was over him because he was weaker. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Will return to Killer Kitchen only on the Angry 80s Guy YouTube channel.
Uncut, uninterrupted, 4 hair-raising, spine-tingling, twisted tales of the unexpected. Going my way. Of the disconnected.
Who's on the line?
Of the resurrected.
Well, he's alive! He's a dummy! He's a block of wood!
And the misdirected.
I was only trying to protect my home.
For the best from the Twilight Zone. Monday night at 8 on Channel 11.
You're sick people, all of you.
Where pleasure may be for sale,
We've been waiting for you.
but death is on the house. Dennis Miller.
Cha-ching!
Tales from the Crypt presents Bordello of Blood.
Let's party.
Rated R. Starts Friday, August 16th at theaters everywhere.
In the beginning, the earth was a formless void, and darkness covered the face of the deep.
Demons, hellfire, terror, and death. It's a tale from the crypt that is so terrifying it can only be seen at the movies. Tales from the Crypt presents Demon Night, rated R. Starts Friday the 13th at theaters everywhere.
We now return to Killer Kitchen. Well, looks like Lester's finally going to get up the cojones to go in there. Well, in the meantime, we finished our tacos, so I'm going to dice up some lettuce. And when we come back on our next break, I will show you guys how to go about making your thing from the grave dessert. These tacos are looking real good. Yeah, Jack had to kind of take over for me here for a minute. I was indisposed. Okay, I went outside to smoke a joint and the break came up, and instead of the cameraman coming and getting me, well, the camera woman, she decided to let Jack have the fucking stage for a minute. Yeah, you fucking know it all. Alright, let's get back to the show. This is the conclusion of the Boogeyman, and we'll see you right here on Killer Kitchen, where we've always got something cooking.
We have a great deal to talk about, Mr. Billings. Come back tomorrow and we'll talk some more.
I haven't told the police yet. I'm afraid to what they think.
I'll speak to them.
But they already think I killed Cheryl. I know they do. I had to move her out of the bathtub. Imagine if they found it out. She's just a little kid. What was he gonna tell them? That the Boogeyman was playing games with me?
Oh, everything will be fine,
Man,
Mr.
that's easy for
Billings.
you to say. You weren't even there.
Billings, come on. Be a good fellow. I
don't
promise.
want to go.
We'll talk
Stay
tomorrow,
here.
Mr. Billings.
No,
Come on.
no.
Come on. Really. Let's go now. Come on. You go out, talk to the receptionist, and make an appointment for tomorrow.
I don't have any place to go.
See you tomorrow, Mr. Billings.
Harper, there's nobody there. Maybe if you think of a thing long enough and you believe in it, maybe it becomes real. Maybe all the things we were afraid of as kids, you know, the monsters like Frankenstein, huh? Wolfman, Mummy. Maybe they were real. Enough to kill the kids that were supposed to drown in lakes or falling into gravel pits.
Will return to Killer Kitchen only on the Angry 80s Guy YouTube channel.
Friday the 13th, Part 3 in Super 3D. The all-new process that puts you in the picture. Whether you want to be there or not. It will scare you. Count on it. Friday the 13th, Part 3 in Super 3D. Rated R.
Now playing in Sacramento. Check newspapers for theaters and showtime.
When the Crypt Keeper cooks up a brand new season, you'll be seeing stars.
If you've got a hankering for something tasty, we've got a treat that'll keep you on pins and needles. Bon appetit.
Not my recipe.
Try a little sugar and spice and everything nice. Keep it over a smoldering flame, because that's what Tales from the Crypt are made of. It's a gourmet experience, so if you're not a screaming meanie and you can take the heat, join me for a new season of fresh Tales from the Crypt.
Premieres Saturday night at 10:30.
We now return to Killer Kitchen.
Looks like you caught the old Crypt Keeper checking out one of his ghouly magazines. Which gives you a little hint about tonight's bedtime story. It's all about the way some guys just die over a pretty girl. But don't worry, kiddies. If it starts to reek a little of rotted romance, I think the title of our nasty narrative makes no bones about where its heart is really at. I call it The Thing from the Grave.
Bruckner? Bruckner, where is she? Answer me, goddammit! Is she all right?
Yeah, she's just fine. I wish I could say the same for you, big guy. Tell me something, is that the shoulder she used to cry on? Or was it the other one? Where you going? Sorry there's no headstone. 10 Commandments were carved in stone. You remember the 10 Commandments, don't you? Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife was part of the deal.
She's not your wife.
Well, she will be pretty soon. Why don't you get your ass in there?
What happened to thou shalt not kill?
Fuck it. I want you to remember one thing before you go to hell, you miserable piece of shit. Remember, she's mine. Not yours. She's mine.
Will return to Killer Kitchen only on the Angry 80s Guy YouTube channel.
Tales of horror that will give you the creeps.
This is going to be extremely painful, Mr. Verrill.
The most fun you'll ever have being scared. Creep Show. Rated R.
Now playing at a theater near you.
Yellow of Blood.
Lucy, I'm home.
Where pleasure may be for sale,
We've been waiting for you.
but death is on the house. Dennis Miller.
Cha-ching.
Tales from the Crypt presents Bordello of Blood. Let's party. Rated R. Starts Friday, August 16th at theaters everywhere.
Uncut, uninterrupted. 4 hair-raising, spine-tingling, twisted tales of the unexpected.
Going my way?
Of the disconnected.
Who's on the line?
Of the resurrected.
Well, he's alive. He's a dummy. He's a black or wood.
And the misdirected.
I was only trying to protect my home.
For the best from the Twilight Zone. Monday night at 8 on Channel 11.
You're sick people, all of you.
We now return to Killer Kitchen. You know, I've known a lot of good girls that ended up with pricks just like that. And I've known a lot of good guys who got fucked by guys just like that. Ladies, I don't care what any guy out there says to you. I don't care what any guy out there may think that he is. If he don't talk to you right, if he puts his hands on you, if a man thinks he owns you, walk out the damn door. It's safer and it's better to live on the fucking street than it is to live in fear or live with some guy who's basically raping you. Because I'm sorry, the minute there's no love and you don't want to do it, you're only doing it to shut his mouth, that's rape. On the other hand, on a brighter note, this guy is actually one of my all-time favorite actors. I mean, Miguel Fuhrer is actually best known for his role in RoboCop, and he was in Spider-Man 3. The guy's one of the coolest actors out there. He really is. In fact, he was in The Stand, 1990 TV miniseries. Here we go, circling back to Stephen King. You know, I really should have been a liberal. I'm just like Jim Paskey, always got to circle back. At least I get back to you. And speaking about getting back, suppose we should get back to business. Now, everybody knows about caramel apples. I don't really care much for apples. Never did. You know? But I do like pears. So we're going to make some caramel pears. Got a couple popsicle sticks here. We're just going to go right into the top, just like that. And being a pear, this is a lot easier to dig into than it is with an apple. So now, we got them set up like that. Interesting fact, Miguel Ferrer was actually the voice of Martian Manhunter in the DC animated television series Justice League, which I only recently found out about that. I had no clue. I thought that was pretty righteous. So you just dip it in like that. And then for this one, we're going to go for some black and white. A lot of black and white, I guess. There's one. Now, two, if you really want to shine people on with yours, you can double beat it. Come across the top. Take some gold here. Or across the top like that. There you go. Same thing. Dip your pear in there, get it nice and thick. You know, I don't really think about it. I've never made caramel apples, and this is definitely the first time I've ever had a caramel pear. Kind of cool. Now for this one, use some silver. And then across the top, we'll take a little bit more black and white. And there you go. Now, although this is an intended show for adults, I know kids are watching. I'm showing stuff that a lot of kids probably dig, like the horror and the blood and guts, especially if you kids out there are anything like I used to be. So, with that in mind, please, I'm begging you, ask your parents to help you out with this. Yes, you can do it by yourself, but as you can see, I'm 42 years old and I still made a fucking mess. Please, for the love of God, ask your parents. I don't want to get my ass kicked when they see me at the grocery store. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take these and let them set in the refrigerator for about 20 minutes. Ah, I knocked it over. Damn it. And in the meantime, why don't I get back to the show here? We'll find out our next step. And when we come back, I'll show you the beginning step of how to make our thing from the grave dessert. Binks, you are not supposed to be on the counter when I'm working. Come on, get down. We'll see you guys at the next break. Come on, bud. Get down.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. Good, 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 good. Uh-huh. One more. All right, and everyone take their first positions, please. Okay, great. Oh my God, this is cheesy.
So is it going to say anything?
Definitely a high cheese factor.
It's that guy.
Well, I tell you what, they love him in Japan. Okay, now, isn't this better than being on an authentic tropical island getting all hot and sweaty?
I don't know. Sometimes I like getting all hot and sweaty.
Hey, boss, why don't I hold a can in my other hand? I mean, like my character's, you know, hanging with these babes and stuff, so I was just thinking, party down.
Party down, absolutely. Knock yourself out, pal.
Excuse us. Excuse us.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Well, he's a real brain surgeon. How the hell do you deal with a guy like that?
Tell you what, it beats working for a living. Okay, Maria. There you go.
God, she's hot, isn't she?
And who might you be, by the way?
Mitch Bruckner. I'm Stacy's manager.
Uh-huh.
I'm also her fiance. Stacy, why don't you give us a little three-quarter turn, a little taste of bud, you know?
Okay.
Spice it up.
Listen,
looking good.
Mike, Butch.
Mitch.
Mitch. Stacy wants to make you really proud of her. Isn't that right?
Right.
Okay, and we're under just a little bit of a time pressure right here.
Right.
So go out and you get yourself a little bit of coffee, okay?
Are you suggesting that I'm making Stacy nervous?
No.
Because I'm not making her nervous, you understand? If anybody's making her nervous, I think it's you. Because you're hitting on her every 2 seconds. You understand what I'm saying? I got an idea. Why don't you take this nice long lens of yours, get it nice and covered with Vaseline, and shove it up your fucking ass! Get some shots the inside of your asshole, hot shot.
I love that guy. All right, let's lose the lights and everybody take 10.
Wow. That dude is a bummer.
Yeah, boy. Thanks for the input. That's a swell boyfriend you got there.
I'm really sorry.
No. Look, it doesn't matter.
He can really be sweet sometimes. I think things just haven't been going well for him lately.
Really? With you to come home to? I don't know. So, listen, I know that it's none of my business, but can I ask you a personal question? He seems like, I don't know, like he's a bomb, you know, it's waiting to go off. Does he ever get rough? If he did, and I'm not saying that he's going to, right? But if he did, and you needed some place to come to kind of cool out, this is key to my studio. And what I have here is I have an extra bed, and I have a television set, and I have a refrigerator over there. What do you think?
Hi. Not interrupting anything, am I?
I guess it was pretty forward of me to give you that key, huh?
I guess it was kind of forward of me to use it.
Well, as long as we're being so goddamn forward. Look, I have something I'd like to give to you. An old blind lady gave this to me. She said that it was the Mayan god of truth. And if you make a promise while you're holding it, no matter what, you're gonna keep that promise. It's corny, isn't it?
Look, it's over with him, okay? I had some hard times and he was there. I guess that's why I stayed so long. I owe him.
Wait a minute, don't you think that you're paid up, Stace? Come on, this asshole has been using you.
I know.
Okay. Well, if you know that, then why don't you tell him?
I'm afraid. I don't know what he'll do.
Listen to me. You don't have to be afraid anymore. Whatever happens, I'll be there, right? I'll protect you. I promise.
Hi, you've reached Devlin Cates Studios. Please leave a message. Thank you.
Hello.
Cates,
Yeah.
this is Bruckner. Look, I know everything, all right? Don't ask me how. It's not important. What is important is that she's in trouble.
What kind of trouble?
Shut up, okay? We had a fight. She went to our cabin. Look, she doesn't want to see my face. She won't accept my help. But maybe she'll listen to you.
Where is she?
Get a pen. All right, you'll need to take Highway 5 about 30 miles. Turn off.
Will return to Killer Kitchen only on the Angry 80s Guy YouTube channel.
In the beginning, the earth was a formless void, and darkness covered the face of the deep.
Demons, hellfire, terror, and death. It's a tale from the crypt that is so terrifying it can only be seen at the movies. Tales from the Crypt presents Demon Night, rated R. Starts Friday the 13th at theaters everywhere.
What happened was true. The most bizarre and brutal series of crimes in America. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Even if one of them survives, what will be left? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. After you stop screaming, you'll start talking about it. Rated R.
One, two, Freddy's coming for you.
One,
He's close.
two,
He's real, isn't he? Here I come. He's real.
three. Ready or not, Freddy's back. A Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 3. Dream Warriors, rated R.
Starts Friday at a theater near you.
When the Crypt Keeper cooks up a brand new season, you'll be seeing stars.
If you've got a hankering for something tasty, we've got a treat that'll keep you on pins and needles. Bon appetit.
Not my recipe.
Try a little sugar and spice and everything nice. Keep it over a smoldering flame, because that's what Tales from the Crypt are made of. It's a gourmet experience, so if you're not a screaming meanie and you can take the heat, join me for a new season of fresh Tales from the Crypt.
Premieres Saturday night at 10:30.
We now return to Killer Kitchen. Miguel Ferrer is a very talented actor, but I really, in fact, what makes him a great actor, I can't think of one role I've seen him in where I couldn't just fucking want to wring his neck myself. I mean, he just has that. And here we are, back to the beginning. In fact, I like that about this episode. It opens, this is what's happening. Then it goes back, tells the story, and brings you back to where it opened. And, just as Tales from the Crypt, Killer Kitchen will follow suit. I told you, when we started, that we were going to do a thing from the grave dessert. So, first I crunched up some cookies. Now, I would recommend gloves, but some people don't care. We're going to crush up some cookies just like this. In fact, whenever I start kneading cookie dough or I start crushing down cookies to make these desserts, I can't help but be reminded of the Oracle from The Matrix, when she's talking to Sati, and she says cookies need love like everything. So with a little bit of love, we're going to crush these cookies. It sounds really bad. It's like this. Okay, there we go. Now, I suddenly realized that after I went to the store and we got our Oreos, after I went to the store and we got our shit for tacos, well, we forgot to buy whipped cream. So, our next step is going to be delayed, and I am going to show you guys how to make your very own homemade whipped cream. Everything's just about to go. We've got some heavy whipping cream. We're going to leave these in here. You know what? I need a minute, so we're going to put this back in here. We're going to cut back to the show, and I'm going to prep the area. Because although I knew I had to make the homemade whipped cream, I wasn't ready to do it just yet because I got a little caught up drinking a beer and watching the shows. So we'll be right back.
Calling that photographer again? So what's the deal? You've been trying him for a week.
What are you talking about?
Come on, Stacy, I'm no genius, but I'm not blind. Think I didn't see the way you guys looked at each other at that shoot? And there was that night you said you went out with your girlfriends.
You followed me? You were such an asshole.
No, actually I didn't. I really didn't know. But I'm not wrong, am I? Huh?
What do you want me to say?
Look, I know that things haven't been too good between us for a long time. I've been stupid and I've done a lot of bad things. Sometimes I get frustrated and I don't have the words and I use other things, and that's wrong. I know that. I also know that whatever we had is probably gone or changed anyway. And it's my fault. I fucked up. You're the best thing that ever happened to me, Stacy, you know? And I love you very much. It's probably a little late for that. You need to move on, and you deserve it. I need to ask you one thing. If this guy loves you so much, why hasn't he called by now?
Something's wrong. Maybe something happened.
Just think about it for a second. This guy meets beautiful girls like you every day. They're nothing but 8x10s to him.
But he said things.
Well, welcome to the real world. You know, a guy would say anything to get in your pants. Just, why hasn't he called you for 6 days?
Why do you think I'm worried?
What, do you think he's a corpse somewhere?
I don't know. Maybe he had an accident.
Yeah. Or maybe he flew off to Paris with some 19-year-old Eileen Ford discovery. Don't you see what I'm trying to say? I ain't Pat Boone, all right? But I'm here for you.
What if you're wrong?
If I'm wrong, then I let you go. You do what you gotta do. But if I'm right, I think you owe it to yourself to at least think about giving us another try. I love you so much, Stacey. Just promise me you'll forget about him.
Devlin? Hello?
I know everything.
Wait, you...
Gosh, I'm sorry it had to end up like this. I really am. You know, if you just left well enough alone, everything would have been fine. Goes to show you start to care about somebody, everything goes to hell. But hey, just because it's over doesn't mean we can't have a little fun first.
Help! Help!
I should warn you, there really isn't any point in calling on your sweetheart, because Romeo isn't going to save you this time. Do you want to know why? Well, it's because I buried him in the woods outside. That's why. Yep, he's dead, and he's buried, and he's rotting in the fucking ground right now.
Will return to Killer Kitchen only on the Angry 80s Guy YouTube channel.
Tales of horror that will give you the creeps.
This is going to be extremely painful, Mr. Verrill.
The most fun you'll ever have being scared. Creep Show, rated R.
Now playing at a theater near you.
When the Crypt Keeper cooks up a brand new season, you'll be seeing stars.
If you've got a hankering for something tasty, we've got a treat that'll keep you on pins and needles. Bon appetit.
Not my recipe.
Try a little sugar and spice and everything nice. Keep it over a smoldering flame, because that's what Tales from the Crypt are made of. It's a gourmet experience, so if you're not a screaming meanie and you can take the heat, join me for a new season of fresh Tales from the Crypt.
Premieres Saturday night at 10:30. Bordello of Blood,
Lucy, I'm home.
where pleasure may be for sale,
We've been waiting for you.
but death is on the house. Dennis Miller,
Cha-ching.
Tales from the Crypt presents Bordello of Blood.
Let's party.
Rated R. Starts Friday, August 16th at theaters everywhere.
We now return to Killer Kitchen. Well, not only is this guy a fucking murderer, but he's a rapist. I guess I wouldn't expect any different out of Hollywood. Actually, it's pretty real life compared to Hollywood. Everybody knows about Harvey Weinstein. God knows what the guy did that he didn't get caught for. You know, speaking of rotting in the ground, I figured tonight is a good night to show you guys how to make your own homemade whipped cream. So, the first step is to take your bowl. Look at that. Steam pouring off of that. God damn, those are cold. Shit. And your, these are really cold. Holy shit. Damn cold. Your mixers. They say about 20 minutes. Might have been in there for about 2.5 hours. Now, we're going to take some confectionate sugar. I want to use imitation vanilla. That's me personally. A lot of people will use coconut oils or different, you know, a lot of rum. Like other, you know, there's people that'll use rum. I just want a regular vanilla whipped cream. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this confectionate sugar, just like that. Basically, confectionate sugar, it's just powdered sugar. I don't know why they have to give these things these technical names when it's so easy to say powdered sugar. Hell, you know what? Till I was about 12 years old, it was donut sugar. Now, I got a little bit of heavy whipping cream right here. One thing to keep in mind when you're doing this, it will double. So, if you're going to use half of it, you're going to, you know, end up with twice more than what you put in. Big thing to remember. Wow, this thing is just like those old milk jugs we used to get in school back in the 90s and the 80s. Chocolate milk, please. Oh yeah, that is nice and thick. Now, fuck it, let's add some more. I think I froze it. Now we're going to take some of this. You want it to be about even all the way around. Something about like that. And we're going to take some vanilla. Now, ultimately, you just want to put these things in the freezer or in the fridge for about 20-25 minutes. Then you're going to take and you're just going to all the way in high. Until you get these nice, big, thick clumps drums for whipping. Why don't we get back to the show, and we'll see you right here in the Killer Kitchen at the conclusion of The Thing from the Grave.
Listen, you know, go ahead, cry your eyes out. Makes you happy. So you can just stop dreaming about him coming to save your pretty little ass, because it ain't gonna happen. Okay?
Killed you, goddammit! I fucking killed you! What are you doing? No!
Wasn't that romantic? Blah! I would have called tonight's fear fable a boy meets ghoul story. Except the boy was the ghoul this time, right, kiddies? Which leaves poor little Stacy fresh out of boyfriends. Oh well, I'm sure she'll dig one up somewhere.
That really was a nice love story. Boy meets girl, boy becomes ghoul, and kills hotshot boyfriend with an attitude. Now girl is free, and ghoul is going to torment the boyfriend. I love happy endings. Speaking of happy endings, this is our homemade whipped cream. So what we're going to do, this is the consistency you're looking for. In fact, actually, it kind of reminds me a lot of Cool Whip, only mine tastes a lot better. Mine is actual whipped cream and not oil. Just a little bit down there. And then we're going to take some chocolate pudding and cover that. Now the reason I do the whipped cream in and then fill it in with the pudding is to give the pudding just a little bit of an extra creamy taste. You want to cover that completely up. Now what you want to do is you want to take some of those little tinier crumbs right on the top. Give them a loving crush. Again, right on top. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take some gummy worms. I'm going to stick them right inside here. Now, anybody that knows me knows I don't deal in evens. I don't like evens because ain't nothing ever been even or Steven for me. So, I deal with odds. After all, I am an oddball. So we're going to stick 5 gummy worms apiece inside. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take a little bit more whipped cream. Right on top. This is actually my first ever attempt at making homemade whipped cream. I have never done this before. I just kind of looked something up and there it was. Now we're going to take just 3 more and go right on top. And then what we want to do, make sure that you got them kind of sticking out of there, not just sticking on top. See, that's the consistency you want for your whipped cream. It takes about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, and you got to eye it. But when it's done correctly, god damn, that tastes fucking good. That is better than any fucking store-bought whipped cream I've ever fucking had in my life. That right there is some good shit. That's not going to waste. I'm going to lick the rest of that bowl. Now, I want to take the rest of these cookies, crush them up real fine, like real fine, McFlurry fine. And you want to just sprinkle again. If there's any kids watching, you really do want to ask your parents to help you with this. I'm sure your mom and dad are not going to be very happy walking into the kitchen seeing cookie crumbs all over the place. But there you go. Now me, because enough is just never enough, I'm going to stick a couple more gummy worms right inside here. And there you go. The thing from the grave. Very simple. Doesn't require much, but it does require a lot of patience because it is very time consuming, especially when you have to make the whipped cream from scratch. I'm your host, Vincent Victorian, and this has been Killer Kitchen. We've enjoyed your company. We've enjoyed your stay. whatsoever.